morning, super happy, and I'll tell you why. Why we're super happy. I got all my equipment ordered in that I'm going to need. First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is ILEG Technology Screens. We have our two amazing test games, new games for our company's technology, which is under the SFEG, Sun Fusion Energy Gain, and under our ILEG, Infusion Light Energy Gain. I am so excited. So we got all our equipment ordered in and ready to go. I got the surface that's coming in. I got a nice 12 by 12 surface to put the coating on. We got the little feet that snap on the bottom of it for the plexiglass, so it looks more professional without having the water bottles in the way anymore. We don't have to deal with that anymore. I got larger surfaces coming in for much bigger demonstrations, but now we want to do a test on the sample sheet anywhere we want to go with this. The battery unit is coming in. We already ordered. It's going to be here on the 30th. I got a nice size battery unit. It's small, portable, lightweight. It'll plug in our cell phones. It'll plug in the projectors with no problem. It's 200 watts is all we're going to need. Because these projectors are under like 100 watts, so we can run that easily. And since we're not going to be there that long, it's good to go. I got a couple areas that I know that I can go charge my unit at with no problem whatsoever if the battery does go dead. But it has a quick charge on it and pretty much has everything we need on it. So this is going to be fantastic. This is going to allow me to go anywhere. I mean, I can be all over Allentown with this whole entire setup that can carry literally in my hand. So this is going to show at the end of the day that our gain capability, our new technology gain, we can advertise it. We can go anywhere we want, any time of the day. I'm planning to do some of these in the demonstrations probably like early in the morning, afternoon, and evening hours where the sunlight is the worst of the worst when it comes to projection screens. We're trying to do a projection screen setup. We're going to be different places like the PPL building, in and out of restaurants, all kinds of stuff. We're setting this up. I plan to get a lot of publicity off these screens. That's why we got the digital business cards. I can basically click as many phones as I possibly want without running out of business cards, because I plan to run through a lot of places with this technology. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun with this. So I can't wait. Once the Nintendo Switch 2 is available, I'll be picking that up because I plan to do some outside gaming with it. But until then, I'm going to pick up a RetroPie. So I'm going to do some old school retro gaming on the new setup, on the new screens. So outside, we're going to have the black technology. Definitely going to have that out there. And we're going to be having pretty soon the fluorescents. Fluorescents, we're probably most likely going to do some of those in the morning, but those screens pretty much spark up at nighttime because they do something really special. So can't wait. Everything is coming in. Everything is coming in. And this is the beautiful thing about this. The office is nice, but I got to bring clients in. With this technology, I can go anywhere everybody's at. Anywhere everybody's at. So they're going to have festivals up here. I plan to be at every single festival. I plan to get me a booth because I got my license and everything. I'm good to go with the states, with my state and city of Allentown. And I plan to put up a show booth showing the technology operating in the daytime. Oh, yummy. I plan to do a lot of stuff with this outside technology. That's the reason why we were out there doing those demonstrations. See, that's what I said. Most people thought it was it's not about bragging. It's all testing. We need to see if this thing actually works. I can't invest this money that I just did into what we need if we don't know this thing operates 100%. And the best way to do this, to get a 100% reading on what it's doing, is 50 lumens. We can get a 50 lumen projector to run in the park. We can get it to run over here in this section. We can run in that section. And we can get direct sunlight on this thing. We got a gem here. We know we can go anywhere we want with it. And again, I can't express this enough. I don't care whose feathers this ruffles at the end of the day. If you fake your demonstrations, if you cut corners, you're only hurting yourself. Because you can't go out and do that. We can go run out and do that now. Oh man, you know what freedom I got now? At the end of the day, this is far better than I ever imagined. Because again, when I first got here, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to have to rent out places to do these demonstrations at. And these places can get really expensive. You can talk about $60 an hour. You can spend $300 an hour. It can get costly. We don't have to worry about that anymore. The world is our YouTube. We can literally go anywhere we want. I can go to Japan right in the middle of the street and poof, pull the screen up with no problem. I can go to England. I can go anywhere I want. And that means at the end of the day, for our customers and investors, if you're watching me walk all over Allentown, watching movies anywhere I want to, that means my customers can do the exact same thing too. which also means, in another form too, that the ambient light rejection, ALR, is considered to be obsolete next to our game, because AR can't do that. They can't go outside. They don't have the capabilities. That's why they're stuck in the dark. AOL is cursed, and I'll tell you why. It's on a gray screen. It's automatically cursed because it's on a gray screen. You can't read in fully lit environments with gray, which we showed you multiple times. And I will be doing those demonstrations. I'm also got a couple of expos I want to start, because I want people to come in and see our show booth. We're going to be educating them on why gray and white screens don't work. So the gray screen doesn't read contrast, and because it doesn't read contrast, that's the reason why you'll see an ambient light rejection screen that's designed to be in a better lit environment and a dark environment, because the contrast levels fail. That's why. Now, for those of you who think at the end of the day, why did they do it black? We did it already. That's what the black ambient light rejection technology we engineered did. That's what they do. We've been telling you that for years. For years we've been telling you that the ambient light rejection, AR, works better on black screens. And you guys sat there and go, oh, no, it works better on gray. So now we got this new high-tech technology in. It has a far better ambient light rejection technology than the traditional ARL. We can go out there and we can just basically obliviate any screen at the end of the day that's gray and has that so-called technology attached to it, and you can't even operate it the way it was designed to be operated, because your colors are washed out because the screen is gray. This is what we were trying to tell you for years. But, you know, people are stuck into old traditions at the end of the day. Now, our customers, picked up on that. That's why they're outside watching movies, why people with gray screens are stuck inside with $6,000 and $7,000 screens. You can't go out there where my customers go at. I was telling you, it's useless. That technology is absolutely useless on any form of gray screen. Even gunmetal is completely useless. Now, if you're talking about, well, Mr. Burr, you're developing, we developed gunmetals, yes, but my gunmetal was extremely dark. My gunmetal was so dark you can mistake it for a black screen. Matter of fact, we have developed the darkest gunmetals that no other gunmetal screen could even match. Even a black diamond can't even match my gunmetal, because I beat their screen multiple times in demonstrations, also to every other screen too, when I did my gunmetal technology. And the new one we're engineering right now has front and rear capability and can absorb sunlight at 50 lumens. Tell me any gunmetal, even black diamond, that can do that. Any of them? None of them have that capability. They can't even go outside. So with that being said, that would make the screen we have much more superior. And it's super ultra dark. Even though it is a form of gray, it's an ultra dark gray. Extreme ultra dark, almost mistakenly for black. So with that being said, this is why we kept telling you over and over again, gray screens don't work. You can put ambient light rejection technology on it all day long. It really doesn't make a difference, because it can't read the black level. It's plagued to be in the dark in order to get those black levels to read better. That's what we kept telling you over and over again. And now look where we're about to go. So my machine will be here on the 30th. On the 30th, I'm going to be all over Allentown. I'm going to be going to places that ambient light rejection screens can't go. Because every single ambient light rejection screen I've seen so far are gray, or some kind of gunmetal. That's pretty much it. So we're going to be out and about all over Allentown. I'm planning to be everywhere. I'm going to get, for places I want to be farther out, because the equipment we got to carry back and forth is nothing. Everything fits in the back. My charging unit is small. I got a nice little charging unit. I looked at the review on YouTube about it. It's a small little unit. It'll allow me to carry it around. It's very lightweight. Actually, my cell phone fits on it. So it's just a little bit larger than my cell phone. That's basically it, but it's not that big, which I like. I can put all that stuff in there. I'm taking 2 projectors with me. I'm taking the Cumi with me, which is our 300 lumen projector, and I'm picking up a 500. That's all I need. So imagine my track record on this technology, that it has the ability to pull up anywhere it wants, all over Allentown, including only using 300 to 500 lumens. That's a heck of a track record. And all test demonstrations were done at 50 lumens, majority in direct sunlight. Yes, sir, buddy. Well, I'm about to have my fun at the end of the day. I'm going to go anywhere the freak I want at the end of the day. And yet, like I said, we got a nice setup for the screens, too. The little feet that pop on the bottom. Oh, man, I can't wait to show this thing off. I can't wait. See, here's the thing. When you have a technology that works, You don't have a problem with showing the world. When you have one that doesn't, you don't want people to find out. Keep in mind that Mr. Bird does not have one canceled order from anyone in over 14 years. Well, we got canceled orders from people who couldn't back their products up. That's a heck of a track record, ain't it? Yep, well, for those of you who make that ambient light rejection and ALR technology, you're obsolete when we get done with you. We're going to be all over the place, and we're going to be challenging your screens to come out and play with us. Can you come out and play? Come on, you gentlemen, or anyone at the end of the day, not even gentlemen anymore, because we don't consider them anyone. Consider the fact that we did it with a 50 lumen. This is a 300 lumen projector. You have any idea what that screen's going to look like on this? We showed them off. They look like. This is an overkill for that technology. 500 lumens is going to be insane. So, that's basically about it I got to talk about. There's nothing more. We have the better technology now. Anyone can, you two can sit there and rant all day long. You don't have what we have. Mind you, these demonstrations will put every single type of ambient light rejection, no matter what screen it is, from here to there, to anywhere, to shame. Because while you're inside in dark environments, which you should have never been in to begin with, trying to claim that you have an ambient light screen, we are literally outside in the same element that you have to block to keep your screen from washing out. That's a heck of a lot of power to play around with. And keep in mind, if we're only doing 300 to 500, what happens if someone hits one of those screens with 2,000 lumens? There you go. Now, also, too, beautiful thing about this technology we're engineering, and also, too, our screen paints will be outside. We'll have the only black screen paint outside that will have the most outdoor demonstrations displaying white levels only at 300 lumens outside. There's no other black screen that does that, which means, what do you call that company called? Smarter Screens? Yeah, we got to go pick up their sample sheet today. And the reason why is because they're coming up on my feed too much, and I don't want to be mistaken for their stuff, so we're going to have to take them outside with a new cinematic out in the daytime. Before I do that, I'm going to send them a nice email today and have a live chat with them and see if we can take the black screen outside. From what I've seen in the test demonstrations I've done on the product, they don't do well in well-lit environments. The angle gain is extremely poor and the white levels drop dramatically. I have the tests on my site. I did them already. I'm going to go and get me another one. The screens are pretty cheap. It's just that shipping order coming over. $25 to ship them over because it's coming from Ireland. Still, you think it would be a little cheaper than that. But anyway, because they're a company gets the discounts. I think that's why. Yep, hurry. So I think before I take any of the companies out, I think I'm going to ask permission first. I will be contacting them, asking them if it's okay to take their screen outside. Over here. That's what I'm going to do. And if they say no, our screens don't work outside, they're not designed for outside, well, that tells you right there where we stand at. And then I'm going to show them a demonstration of my technology outside. Later on, when all this stuff is locked in, we got our patents and everything on everything, I'll send out each company a sample sheet to let them know and see what the future is about. Now, I guarantee you, one thing's going to happen. Buyout. I guarantee you. Definitely buyout. Oh man, I can't believe we're free, baby. We're free! Free to do what I want. Any old time. And it's interesting, because you know what? I sat there on that floor and made that statement. Ever since I made that statement, our technology has jumped by dramatic leaps. You know, the one I sat there and said before God and the world, and I sat there and said, if my technology, if I'm a scammer and rip-off artist at the end of the day, may the Lord out us and show us exactly who we are. And our technology literally jumped through the roof. That gave me the ability to go anywhere I want outside. And mind you, I've already backed that up. All those demonstrations you see all over my account, I was out there, that 50 lumen projector pulling up in different directions, pulling flames through screens. Yeah, we already backed that up. So now we're not locked down by the outlets, because the problem with the outlets is that there's only so many of them around Allentown. I thought there was a lot of them, but there's only so many that function. And I don't want to be in front of somebody that's a compartment building recording something. That's kind of corny. So I'd rather just go where I want. And that battery system, and then to be able to operate on something like this outside in sunlight, man, come on. Unbelievable. We can go wherever we want. I can set up that little station in no time at all. Click, 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 doop. Video, boom, video, boom, video, boom. And anyone that comes by and asks us, we got paperwork, permits, all that stuff is all documented, because that's what I did when I was in the laundry room. See, future, gentlemen. I'm about the future. While you were sitting there laughing about me being in the laundry room, I was getting my paperwork ready. For why? For what I can do right now. And the investment in time that I put in the laundry room, it's going to allow us to be millionaires in no time at all. See? There you go. Should have followed me so you can see how it's done. Well, I mean, until then, I'm going where I want to go. I think I'm going to PPL, but I'm going to watch sports in there. They do sports and shows and stuff like that. And they got those huge LCD monitors in there, but I'm going to pass on business cards. I plan to have my screens in there. It's cheaper. Screens are bigger. And on top of that, you can have them anywhere you want. That's why they don't have projections in there. That's why churches and places like that, them LCD monitors are really super expensive. But with the technology we have right here, they can put massive screens in. It wouldn't cost them a lot of money. And since the projectors we use don't cost under $200, guess what? That's not a lot of money either. So they have an option. Most likely, they're going to go for something super expensive. That's usually what companies do. That's what they do. But do they have to spend the money? Nah. So yeah. This is going to allow me to branch my technology out to a lot of big companies. That's why I keep showing the Apple logo. I show the Apple logo in all my demonstrations. I have a friend of mine who actually works for Apple. Actually, he's pretty well connected in Apple. And he says, when everything's done and locked, to let me know. I'll do a presentation for you for Apple to show you exactly that. I'm pretty sure they're going to be on board with it. Because they can put that retro Apple logo display on their glass anywhere they want, inside, outside, advertising, commercials, whatever they want. Mind you, ad tech does more than just basically just for movies and sports. It's an advertising technology. Your expos and all that stuff, you be able to run screens in there to show up your fancy cars, whatever you want. And we got a thin like film we're making pretty soon, as I said before, that you can cut and manipulate for those who have car lots and you want fancy cars like BMW, Mercedes, you know, whatever. At the end of the day, you can actually put a screen that fits in your windshield. Projector can sit in the back at only 300 lumens, and you can basically push an image right through direct sunlight. You can advertise a commercial, literally, of the car, right on your windshield of your car. That is what makes money, gentlemen. That's what makes money. So now they don't have to have some big old bulky projectors, some 5,200 lumens, 6,000, 7,000 projector. All they need is just this. That's it. Just that. My buddy drives a very nice car. He's going to let me use his windshield to show some of the test off in this car. We're going to do it in direct sunlight, do the demonstration, record the whole entire thing, and send it over to any car dealership. Show them a promo demonstration. There's an RV place that does RV rentals. They have white screens in there and cheap projectors. That technology we have will allow those customers to be able to watch movies and sports right in the daytime. Tailgate parties. Yes, you can have your giant screens out there on your tailgate parties. Big, beautiful image, 100 inches if you want. Can you imagine having a tailgate party with a 100-inch screen that you can view in the daytime? That's going to be amazing. Customers, you can have a screen anywhere in the house you want. All that dark environment, dark curtains, and ambient light controlled environments are now considered to be canceled. No more ambient light protection environments, or what we call controlled environments. No more expensive projectors, no more calibrating, no more contrast crap at the end of the day. That black technology we engineered, the one that read through 300 lumens outside, imagine what they do inside. Those things are designed, that we got one coming out that's designed to fit your ultra short throw behind it. So instead of you going out and have to worry about having this massive contrast level to do with the gray screen or whatever nonsense you have sitting on your wall, you can stick a projector of $60 with a 2,000 or even 501 contrast projector right behind the back of that screen, and when it pushes through that screen, it automatically has infinity capabilities. Imagine that. No more expensive projectors. So our plans is to change everything. Everything down to gaming, everything down to visual effects, special effects, projector mapping applications, you name it, we're going to have our hands in it. into the future, people. Now you've seen why so many people tried to stop our dream at the end of the day. And you failed, you failed, you failed, you failed. I think you failed. You tried everything in the book and you failed. You know why? Because that technology is designed by God. Not that, but that technology over here is all designed by God. You can't stop God's destiny. No matter how much the devil tells you at the end of the day, you can't stop. And mind you, because God is the one who's leading the charge in our technology, God is also our defender. And he's the one that's going to be responsible for finding each and every single one of you to be prosecuted by our lawyers in a court of law. And if possible, imprisonment. If possible. But I think it's not going to be a problem. So if you think that we can't find you, God can find you. And keep in mind, you pay for two things on this earth. You don't get away with nothing. So, it'll be a good thing if you're caught by us. But if you pass off this earth and you go to the next life, it's over. Forever. Because you will burn in that lake of fire forever. You'll be torment and pain beyond your imagination. You could never even possibly think of the torment. Mind you, hell was made for Satan. So if the Lord made a place for Satan to be tormented, just imagine how bad it's going to be for you. You got to think about those things. So, say we don't find you, and you think you got away with it. You don't get away with anything. Then unless you didn't pick up your cross and follow Jesus, you're going to hell. And you're going to burn forever. So either way you'll pay. Either you'll pay in hell, or you'll pay up here. In our world. There's two types of law. It's God law and man law. Either way you have to pay. So you can't get around that one. Virtually impossible. Keep in mind that when you do sin at the end of the day, you think at the end of the day that no one sees you because you do it in the dark. Mind you, your Heavenly Father in heaven can see everything that you do, and everything you do is written in the book of life for Judgment Day. Unless you are baptized and your sins are washed away, then you wouldn't be doing that kind of stuff to begin with. But since you are doing that stuff, means you're serving Satan. If you're serving Satan, that means you're written in the book of life. If you're written in the book of life, means you're not saved. That means if you die, when your time comes, because no one's meant to be here forever, you can leave here today, you can leave here tomorrow, you just don't know when. And you haven't made that crossroad yet completely, you're going to hell. No way out of it whatsoever. It's a binding contract. So that you have that to think about. Because I love it when we get the people at the end of the day who feel at the end of the day that, oh, he doesn't know who I am, he doesn't know where, oh, God does. He knows where you're at. And that's more important than we. Much important. So how are you going to get around God at the end of the day? How are you going to escape that? You can't even escape death when it comes. So how are you going to escape that? Okay. You know what's interesting? Even the devil knows about the book of life. He does. He knows that every time you do something and you're not saved, he knows it's written in that book. Remember, he was God's right-hand angel. All right, so, Lord bless us to go where we want to go. That's what he gave to us. The ability to advance our technology to go anywhere we want to go. So, this is what I'm saying, that people who waste their time in life, you're never going to get that time back. That time you invested in with Satan to try to take my company down, you're never going to get that time back ever again. That's gone. You know, the time I invested my time listening to Jesus, getting my technology and everything needed to get ready for this moment. This is what I'm getting out of my investment with the Lord. What are you getting out of your investment with God? All right, then. Well, with that being said, I'm going to have me a ball. I got all these places picked out I want to go. I can set up and show this thing up for anything I want. Heck, I can have my investors come out to the park and watch the screen. Isn't that freaking cool at the end of the day? Anyone buying the screen for us for their apartment building or whatever, we can do that demonstration anywhere we want. And the best way, and put it this way, the people are saying, well, AR, no, it's not. It's not. It's just not. It's not. To truly test ambient light projection technology, you have to be outside to do that. Because outside, you can't get away with anything. There's no way to control lighting in there. There's no roofs, there's no ceilings, there's no windows. There's nothing to protect your screen in any way whatsoever. And then direct sunlight is the worst. So if you can operate out there, you can operate the way you want. So you have true ambient light rejection technology when you have that. And that's where I want to change the game. I want to change the game that true ambient light rejection demonstrations are done outside. And if we do that, that means we raise the bar on everybody. Anyone developing a screen, you'll have to do it outside now, because we did it. That's the reason why the naysayers and people make fraudulent paints are mad at us. Because every time we go and we do something insane, the customers expect for them to do the same thing. And we keep raising the bar on them to the point that they can't reach it anymore. So now what are you going to do when we're outside? What are you going to say? It's fake. It's not real. That'll get you a lawsuit. So you can't do that one right. What's next? There isn't anything next. You have to back this thing up. You have to go to whatever you make up, you have to back it up and get hit with a consumer fraud lawsuit. You can't do that either. So what are you going to do? You're going to go obsolete. That's what you're doing. There's no way around get around these things. Or you can just come, if you really believe you can take the screen, come to your website and buy your stuff. You bring it over here and take it outside. Now, if you're in a demonstration like I've seen over here, or in these really dark environments, what chance do you have of surviving outside at 120 to 100,000 lux of direct sunlight? Even in the shade, your screen won't even work. How much light is out there at the end of the day? It's a lot. We all know that. We go outside every day. So imagine, if you will, customer, when you go outside, when you go to work, when you're outside sitting in a park or at a baseball game or whatever, you imagine that Mr. Bird can play out there. And the rest of them can't. All that, as far as the eye can see, is my playground now. And you can't come out to play with us. Oh, I like that. That's a good one right there. That's a flex one. That's a flex. That's a flex. That's a flex. The world is our playground. And they can't come out to play. I like that. Tell me that's not hot. Tell me that's not hot. Oh, man, I'm writing that down, man. I'm writing that down. Y'all can't say that. Remember, y'all don't have the technology. I gotta write that down. The world is our playground and they can't come out to play. I like that. See? Someone's asking me for demonstrations at night. I got you. These things are insane at nighttime. Let's see. I like that. I got these companies right now that want to come down, they want to see the technology, and I say, hey, best way to view it is outside in the daytime. Because I'm going to advertise a daytime projection screen if I'm inside. That don't make any sense, right? So if they can play outside, they can play inside. Let's see the world, let's see the world. Let's put it down. Okay, good. I like that. I'm keeping that. That is pretty good. I like that saying right there. Because it's true. Am I lying on that? And if I'm lying, I got challenges going out. I got challenges going out for the first week. Matching better and flex demonstrations. And these are going to be directed toward ambient light projection old technology, the ALR. When we go to, I got my ABS forms account set up. I got my projector set up, centrally set up. I got 6 other major form sites I'm already set up on. The accounts are just sitting waiting for us to do these demonstrations. We link in there, once at the end of the day, that our game is far more advanced. So when anyone comes in and see that, they can see at the end of the day that we're outside playing around while other screens are sitting in the dark. Meanwhile, I'll be out there advertising. Because we got the digitals, baby. These are the digitals. All day long. Clickety, clickety, click. All right, then. Time for me to get to work and have some fun. Man, I get to be outside, man. You have no idea how excited I am about that. Go anywhere I want, man. Honestly, I don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars just to rent places out. We don't even need it anymore. We just go anywhere we want. Set up with our portable system. This is going to be so much fun. I'm taking it to the beach, too. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to set it up over there. I'm going to amusement parks. I'm going anywhere I want. Anywhere I want. Out in the park. Anywhere on my screen. Now I'm going to be watching movies off this thing. Visual effects, movies, stuff like that, the demonstrations, to do all that stuff and have some fun with that. Okay. Meanwhile, everybody else is going to be sitting in the dark. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Man, it's going to be a hurt piece at the end of the day for, I guess, for... I remember people go back. I remember ABS Storm telling me at the end of the day that my technology would never go anywhere. Can you imagine that? They made that statement to me that my technology was a waste of time, would never go anywhere. More if they know what's about to happen to them in the next couple of days. And of course, we're going to get the whole thing at the end of the day. It's fake, it's not real, whatever. We'll have them sign a contract. That's what they're for. Not just for you naysayers today. Anybody who feels at the end of the day that that technology doesn't do what it's supposed to do, sign the contract for $1 million. I bet you we shut a whole bunch of people down. That's how you nip them in the butt, gentlemen. That's how you back your product out. 100% put a contract out for $1 million. Money that you don't even have. That shows you can back your product. If you got that much confidence to put that kind of money on the line, knowing you don't have it, that shows you at the end of the day on how much you can back your product. You know why I can back my products like that 1%, gentlemen? I'll explain to you why. Because my technology comes from God. Either you have faith or you don't. That's how it works. How much faith do you have in God? You don't have any faith in God. You know why? You serve Satan. That's why. Satan can't give you faith. Satan curses you and gives you destruction. That's what he does. So that's why you don't trust your own products. That's why we have to cancel receipts. If I wanted to be rude about this, I could literally post your canceled receipts on a bulletin board everywhere we go. And put the links up. I can make the blacklist QR code. And put down, look at the failures of screen paint products. And post you everywhere we go. But, yeah, we're good. I'm just going to have fun crushing your screen screens up there. And this is what we're going to be doing the most demonstrations on, the refusal. Because we need that, we're going to take him to court. Because he ripped off a lot of people, and that thing never worked to begin with. It's cheap house paint, that's all it is. There's nothing special about it. He ripped a whole lot of people, made them believe they got something special, and they got nothing more than just cheap old paint. I plan to be, and a lot, mind you, keep in mind, when he made this statement, it works in a commercial environment. We are in a commercial environment, though, duh. So if it's not working in here, guess what? It's not going to work in any of the places we go at. So I plan to be in schools with this to show this stuff didn't work for jack anywhere. Just rip people off, that's all. Ripped off a whole lot of people, spent their hard-earned money on something that just never ever worked to begin with. Except nothing more than just a paint scam. That's all it was. Nothing but house paint. That's all it was. And at that, we can't even say house paint because we literally use hobby paint. I use washable kids hobby paint to make that. At $15 at 2 quarts. That's all it cost me. That gallon was $11. So, yeah. We have the apple barrel coming in. It'll be here tomorrow. So we can show you what really happened to the product, because as you can see in the demonstration, the apple barrel that he had black around the top of it, which he deliberately put black paint into it to tamper with it. We're going to have apple barrel coming in. We're going to do a side-by-side demonstration. This is why when a person says honest review, you don't know what an honest review is. You really don't. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, Jamie Fernando Gonzalez of Crow 1176 Screen Paints. From an honest review. I don't think that Bear Silver Screen and Network Grade 7073 were honest reviews. And that demonstration you did with the Bear, not the Bear, the what's it called, Apple Barrel, literally, clearly, you can see black paint smeared around the top and the bottom. So he doesn't know honest if honest were to hit him in the face. That stuff is a fake. It doesn't even work. 300 lumens, we can't even get the QME to run off this stuff. This is a demonstration with the woman with the dark makeup that he did on a overhyped projector, stuck it in a really dark environment. Said, "Hey, look, our screen's put." No. Stop ripping people off. You're supposed to be in this much light. This is really how much light you have to be in when you're showing anything black. Because the customer needs to know exactly what they're buying. That's like you buying a car. Would you buy a car out of a showroom where it's dark in there? You don't know what that car looks like. It could be scratches, dings, cracked windows, whatever. You're not buying that. No one's going to buy a vehicle on just someone saying, "I got a car." You got to go down and see this thing, man. You got to make sure you know what you're buying. That's like buying a house without ever seeing it. That's crazy. Got to get that place inspected. It could be all kinds of problems in there waiting for you later on. This stuff simply just, it doesn't work. It did the same thing when we had it outside. It didn't work. Couldn't get it to run. And we had, what, over 70 projectors in our arsenal compared to somebody who had 2. We couldn't get any of the projectors to run. None of them would run. 300 lumens in an office, we still can't get it to work. Our stuff can read at 300 lumens. That stuff is just nothing more than just house paint. And if we just make an everyday mixture of house paint, go to Home Depot, get some black and white paint, and then mix it in, it does the exact same thing. It has the same reaction. So we're going to have this outside with our technology. Side-by-side demonstration. Show you that this gray mixture doesn't work outside. Not just this gray mixture. All of them do the same thing. Somewhat similar to the same thing. They're gray. If you're gray, you're going to have the same reaction. To get on camera and say, and I've been to some form sites, on camera, someone will sit there and say, well, my gray paint's different. So you're telling me you have a gray screen and your gray screen's pulling 100% contrast? Is that what you're saying? So be careful about what you say out of your mouth, because you can be sued for what you're saying. It's a consumer fraud. The minute you have a business, the minute you are taking transactions from people, money, this becomes consumer fraud that fast. So be careful what you say, because they can use it against you in court. So are you saying you're reading a 100% black level? And they can't say that because they don't. I don't care what shade your screen is, you can't do it. Now the gunmetal we're engineering that has an extremely crazy dark level, a dark gray, does that pick up 100? No, it doesn't. It doesn't have the capability. The shiftings, they don't do it either. They mimic contrast. They don't produce 100% contrast. Only the black screens have that. And we can pick up on a shifting technology, or even a screen that's green or a different color, better than a gray screen, better than a certified. We pick up colors better than them, in contrast better than them, and our screen's not even in the color category of that particular screen. And we still won't claim that stuff as 100% black, because we make 100% black screens. So when you engineer a 100% black screen, you know the difference between that and a gray screen. As you see, color washout. But people who don't develop and engineer black technology, you lie. You come on here and say, oh, we read. All right, you read, right? You want to go with that, right? Because I'll take you outside and see if you read correctly. I'll take you in here if you read correctly. We're in 24,000. I'll stick you in a halo system at 12,000K, including the lighting over, and you should be able to read in here. And that's what you're claiming. You should be able to read your contrast levels perfectly well. See, something like this, you should be able to pick up. So since you can't read that, what does that say about your screen? And if the solution is for the customer to spend more money for a more expensive projector to somewhat fix the problem, or darken the environment to make the environment uncomfortable for them to fix your problem, then that means your screen doesn't work. Now I'm willing to take that to court and challenge it. The question is, when it comes down to, are you going to back your product up to keep that statement? And that's the same thing I said in the forum site. Guess what happened in there? No one spoke up. Not one person spoke up. Here, simple, plain. Read that. Simple demonstration. Read a star field. Now, we have black technology. I've never claimed that black technology to ever pull 1% white level. Because no, it's impossible because of the sacrifice fill. You have to sacrifice in there. A gray screen doesn't pull up 100% white level. That's a lie because there's sacrifice fill. The only thing that pulls up a 100% white screen is an actual white screen. But their sacrifice fill is contrast. And because the contrast, color also fades. And also on top of that, along with that sacrifice, comes ambient light projection capabilities. Gray screens have a little bit of it. A little bit of ambient light projection. A little bit. You don't have much. Trust me. You really don't have much. If you did, you'd be fired up in here right now, but you can't, because your screen's gray. And that's the reason why you choose to be in darker environments, because you have to basically try to improve your contrast and color levels, which requires you to be in a dark environment. I mean, ambient light projections have to use this on you. How do we fix that problem right now? How do we fix this problem? This one, when I'm going to be out there, I'm going to ask the audience, how do we fix this problem? How do we get 100% contrast to produce on this? See, here's the thing. On YouTube, you can ignore this. You can. But when I'm out there in those showrooms and I'm displaying those gray screens for the world to see, and I'm asking them, the people, everyone, how do we fix this? That question doesn't get ignored. Only people ignore that problem are people on YouTube that refuse to basically talk about it. Now, if you're on your website and we read through this website and we see there you're clearly stating something you can, we challenge you in court. Because you can't make that statement. Because it's false. No gray screen anywhere on any planet can read 100% contrast. The judge will laugh that out of the courtroom. Come on, you mean to tell me you wasted my time, not for me, you guys, trying to make us believe that a gray screen is going to read a 100% black to an actual physical black screen? You'd be laughed out of the courtroom. Your lawyer wouldn't even take that case. He doesn't want to get laughed at. He doesn't like an idiot in there. Let's see how far you're willing to push it. Gotta be on the side. We switch your, oh yeah, because I got work to do on this side. So yeah, you're gonna have to shoot the back up, man. Back. So that's the problem. Gray screens are the ones going around. Not only just the paints, not just the paints, even the certified screens that are gray. Even the ones that are not certified that are gray. Physical screens, they're going around making statements that they pull black level. You do it all the time. You take a white screen, you stick your product up against it and go, hey, look, a black level. No, it's gray. It's not black, it's gray. So you guys make that statement. 4K is no screensavers. See that? So we do all these tests. We do these tests on our technology on low lumen projectors and really high bright environments on white screens versus our technology, not gray. Because the white screen is the one we need to show at the end of the day that our white levels can read higher. Well, not higher, but high enough where we don't come out looking so dark that you can't make out the screen. By the way, just to let you know, I can do that in the courtroom, no problem. We have more lighting than the actual courtroom. Because courtroom lighting is actually a little farther up in the ceiling because they have high ceilings in there. Our ceilings are kind of same level, but we have, our lights are literally right on top of us. So the fact that this can do this in there, I can do it in there easily. So if you did make a statement on your channel, and you said that our product came out so dark, you displayed a black paint trying to say it was ours, you know it's coming. I don't have to explain it to you, you just know it's coming. But anyway, as you can see, that's our white levels right there. Next to a gray screen. And we switch over to contrast, which the gray screen did. Nothing. So that's your sacrifice right there. You can't recolor correctly. You're not ambient light rejection technology. You don't operate outside, which I'm going to show you in the next couple of days. And then on top of that, you can't read contrast for jack. Any of your light depended on it. Where our technology, on the other hand, can read contrast, picks up an amazing white level. Our color balance is absolutely perfect. If we don't calibrate, and we can run outside at 300 lumens. Now, if you sit there and say you're ultra sure they're compatible, heck, house paint is ultra sure they're compatible. The only thing that falls under ultra sure they're compatible are basically the screens that use a reflective surface, because sometimes they're plagued by ultra sure throws. If you did enough testing, you would have known that, but you don't do testing at all, so you don't know. They're the ones that can register for ultra short though compatible. That's why they have a separate screen as ultra short though. When I see screen paints making a separate screen paint for ultra short though only, that is laughable. Because your paint's automatically ultra short though compatible because it's a paint. Only films have that issue. Reflective surfaces have that issue. Not a paint. The only difference you have in paint is your quality. What quality are you getting? Are you going to read 100% contrast? Can you operate in a fully lit environment? Can you use that ultra short though literally like a TV? Sticking your screen and your TV in the same dark environment as your projector is a fail. Your projector has to be in the same environment as the TV. See? Easy. But when we tell them this stuff, they get mad and upset. Well, here's the thing. You can get mad and upset all you want. Bottom line is we take you to court, ain't nothing you can do in there. You just take the hit. Because we will. I will draw paperwork and I will drag your company into court and challenge you. Oh, and please do us. Please. I'm dying to show this thing off some more. Man, as much publicity I can give for this, heck yeah. I'll be in there at the end of the day having a ball. I'm staring at your attorney, staring at you, smiling at you like, hey, how you doing over there? Doesn't seem like it's going well for you. That thing is working. Doesn't that thing look beautiful? Like the same way I talk on camera. The same way I do it in there. If I'm all over Allentown showing off our technology, what do you think I'll do in a courtroom? So that's the thing about it. When you have a screen that has to be trapped in the dark, it can't be in lighting like this, like we have in here, they can't do that in a courtroom because they got to turn the lights out because they're in ambient controlled environments. That's why. Us, on the other hand, no. We're not an ambient controlled environment, as you can see all the light we have in here. So the fact that being said, I can go into a courtroom and do this easily with no problem. So I'll be sitting there looking at you and looking at your attorney like, hey, how's it going over there? You want to approach the bench? You probably do, don't you? Ain't going to work. Approaching the bench for us don't work. We want maximum. You waste my time coming in there, you're going to pay for my time. And my time is going to cost you a lot of money. And you'll pay for my attorney fees too on top of that. And on top of that, I get to have some fun in there too. So that means I get a little publicity, I get to advertise and show my technology off. All those people, I'll be passing out my business cards to, cling, 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 cling. Talk to somebody in the courts and say, hey, how do we get our technology in here? You got these white screens in here. Can we do a sample of it to show you how amazing we can make your screens look at the end of the day? I'll get a city contract off of you. Talk about an N1 in freaking basketball. Not only will I embarrass you in there, which will be a court document for all to read, but I'll turn around into an counter lawsuit for wasting my time and get orders while I'm sitting in there at the same time. Look at that right there. Look at that. Look. Now, I want you to understand something. That great paint we have right there, for some people in the day, they're going to say, well, my product will never do that. They all do it because you're great. It doesn't make a difference what brand you are. It doesn't make a difference what your gain is. It doesn't make a difference on anything. It's that the fact that your simple fact that you're a gray screen, you do that. I got some Velcro coming in too. We need to get Velcro back. Now, this is a certified screen. That's a certified screen. That's daylights. Certified gray screen. That screen costs more than that gray paint by far. It costs more than our technology by far. A quart of my technology right there costs our customers around $247. I'm sorry, that's 20 ounces. It paints the screen size up to 120 inches. Where 120 inches, that's going to cost you about a couple $1,000 easily. As you can see, it picks up contrast level better than the gray screen paint, of course. But next to ours, it can't match our technology because we read 100% contrast. So when I say that any gray screen, I don't care if you're certified, I don't care if you're physical, I don't care what you are, you can't read it. Which means you're going to be stuck in dark environments. I get my Velcro, I can basically stick it to the surface, and I can do that one. But actually, that surface is literally about the same size as one of those sheets. So I'll make a Velcro surface so we can stick those there nice and correctly and just like nice and flat. Now see how much better this surface, see the barrier looks better here? It's much better right here than it does here. It's the difference between a certified screen and everyday house paint. But our technology can read its color and read the 100% black, which is a requirement. Let's save our quick with this. 4K snow screensaver cottage. I like showing off our white levels. You know I do. Come on, you know I do. You know I like showing off my white levels. Look at that. Bam! Yeah, my black technology is that much of a beast. I did all these tests already. That's why I know I did all the tests already. Somebody said we didn't know what we were doing in our tests. Let me explain something to that person at the end of the day who said we didn't know what we were doing. You don't do any of those tests at all. I've done so many certified screens, it's not even funny. You don't do any of them at all, period. You did some elite screen, it had like creases all in it, it was all bent up, and it was in the dark. Why in the world is that screen sitting in a dark environment with your paint? You know why? Because your paint doesn't work next to one of those screens, that's why. Now this is not even a cinema gray. A cinema gray 3D would have crushed the screen. A cinema gray would have crushed the screen easily, because it's a much darker screen than its products, and it has a reflective surface, which means it would generate higher white levels in the screen on top of that. So the reason why he had it in the dark, because he couldn't beat it with the lights on. Jeez, I live rent free in that guy's head all day long. So, but you see our technology match with no problem. Starfield screensaver. Ugh, let me get this over here. Nope. Starfield screensaver. Maybe a Garfield from Starfield. Oh, I better stop saying it. It's still clicking. Starfield screensaver. Sheesh. Gotta get up on a microphone like a rock band. Boom. See? There you go. So that surface right there, that surface, costs more than our screen by a lot. About $1,500–1,600. So when you gray paints out there, at the end of the day, think that for some strange reason, I don't know why, that you're on the same level as our screen paints, and we have far more testing, far more demonstrations than you have at the end of the day, and our customers are doing things that you're not doing. How in the world does that work? How do you think you're made at the end of the day? You're sitting in some dark apartment with a high-end expensive projector, and I'm sitting in a fully lit environment. The projector costs me under $20. So how? There you go. So that gray screen right there, by daylight, it's far better than any gray paint, as you can see. And next to our technology, well, it doesn't read. Can't pick up contrast. We can blend into its white levels with no problem. Blue screen. And that was a demonstration about this. Not a demonstration about going where I want to go. I thought I threw this in here for fun. Because we can do that. That's what we do. We just throw random stuff in there. You know why? Because we got that capability to do that. That's why. We have that much faith in our technology. In the middle of a demonstration, I could swap a projector out. I'm going to do that in some of my demonstrations. I'm going to start off with like a really high-end, like 5,000 lumen, and just take it out and put some freaking 40 lumen in there and just set it up like we're done. I don't want to use this projector anymore. I just swap it out. Just throw everybody off center. Now see right there? That's why you got to calibrate on gray screens. So here's the thing. It's not about his gray screen paint. It's not about anybody's gray screen. It's about all gray screens at the end of the day. Whether you are certified or whether you are gray paints, you do not read in fully lit environments. You do not read 100% contrast, and your color levels are off balance. It's about all of you, not just one. That's the problem we have. People don't think it's just one. No, it's all of you. All of you. And if you feel at the end of the day, that your product would do different on our screen, give me your website. I'll go buy from you. Or, if you don't want to do that, sign the contract, and I'll see you in court. That's it. That's all. It's simple and plain. Now, if you're going to cry over that, what's the point? And your stuff don't work. You're not willing to have to buy your stuff to bring it over and do the same thing we do over here, then. It ain't worth buying it. Like a refusal sitting over there, which is not worth anyone even touching that stuff. And the people who have it now, I know they feel really bad right now. You gotta feel bad right now. Literally. $15. I made that stuff. That's how it's kids paint for $15. That's pretty bad. Pay $90 for kids paint. This is the part you gotta understand, which is the dramatic part about this whole thing. It'd be different if we made it, right? And we put it on camera. But this one was actually shipped to the owner himself, who denied the package and sent it back to us because he couldn't back his own product up. That's what makes it bad. Now, if he had made this stuff out of some kids paint, whatever, and did the demonstration, he could easily said, no, my stuff would never do that. But to back it up, we could say, hey, here's the ingredients, make it live for everybody to see it. And he wouldn't have done it because he knows it would have matched. But this is far better. This package was sitting right in front of him. That box was sitting right in front of him, and he had a decision to do. He could have basically signed it and did the demonstration live for all of us to see and backed his product up, or he could have sent it back because he can't back it up. And mind, there was a lot at stake at this because number one, it's his own product from his own tutorial video. Number two, it was made out of kids paint. And number three, most important of all, that product matched all of his screen paints. All of them. Except for the UV and the Frankenstein, that's it. And we were able to make that easily. So that stuff matched the Cinemax, Personal, and Metallica mix and Hybrid mix. All of them. Which means when we go to court, it's going to show that the paints he made were no different than one another, and he hyped them up to make them believe that each one of them were different and carried a different specification. That's where he's being sued for different, multiple, mass consumer fraud. And the individuals that were responsible with Pro and New Crow when he was doing this was Danny Rogers was in on that. Daniel McAfee was in on that. Williams was in on that. And also, too, what the other person we had the other day? Yeah, McAfee, Williams, and Danny. Oh, yeah, and Mr. Matthews. We haven't forgot about you, Mr. Matthews. Statute of limitations are so good, we can still come get you. So, yeah, you guys knew that product was fake, and you knew you were scamming those customers like that. And you continue to go into Crowcast and have your little show stuff, all those recording documents to show you guys know each other very, very well. So you knew what he was doing. And yet, you did nothing about it. So guess what that means? You're responsible for that mass scam that he ran on YouTube on ripping off customers. Well, that's going to be a bit of a finger-pointing party of screaming and yelling at each other. Rather than that, if you see contrast level, no, don't read. So like I said, when I'm doing these demonstrations and you hear me say all gray screens, and this is why we put the certify up there, because the reason why is because then we'll get somebody that'll come in and say, well, no, it's not mine at the end because mine's different. What makes your gray screen different than what I have sitting up here right now? You're going to mean to tell me if I take your gray paint and I paint it in and I put it up here that you're going to read 100% contrast? That's what you're going to do right next to this technology? You're going to read in a full environment? You're going to do everything that this screen's doing? Oh, I would love to see that. That's some Harry Potter stuff right there if I ever heard. No, all gray screens do it. Doesn't make a difference. So that's what we're challenging. That's what we're going against. All gray screens, every single one of you in that ambient light rejection stuff with that dinosaur game. That's what we're going against. So when you see Mr. Bird out there playing around and having fun, we're challenging all gray screens and that ambient light rejection stuff. I'm so sick and tired of seeing your demonstrations in these dark environments making these phony demonstrations. Especially real quick before I go. You freaking influencers get the freak on my nerves. You know why? Because you fake it, man. You fake it so badly. As many times as I got on freaking YouTube and I saw those demonstrations of you in these super freaking dark environments, and you got a nerve to pull out a projector that costs that kind of money at the end of the day, and then show the contrast levels in a super dark environment, fooling the customers, making them believe that they're actually picking up a contrast level when clearly they're not. I am going to embarrass the daylights out of you when I get out there, and you better hope I don't mention your name. While I'm out there doing demonstrations, while you're sitting on your YouTube channel doing reviews on a screen on an ultra short projector in a dark environment that literally looks like a birthday candle effect going on there. For those you don't know, when you have a birthday, you know, the candles that go off, that's all the light you have. Literally looks like that in there. Good luck trying to sell that stuff for the day or try to promote your channel in the day when I'm outside playing in the sun. They got on my nerves. You have no idea how much they got on their nerves. They got on my nerves. I can't stand the influence. I can't. Not one of you do it right. Not one of you. For goodness sakes, turn the lights on in that place, man. Let's see what that projector looks like in real, actual lighting. Show us what a 2,000,000-to-1 contrast looks like. I want you to beat the promo demonstration that they did for their own projector, because none of y'all did it. I think I only met one person out of all of them who literally turned on all the lights on. I got to find him with the P1, and it didn't pick up. It didn't pick up for jack at all, period. Only one person, I think, did it. He wasn't even influenced. It was the guy who brought the projector, did a review. That was it. But every single one of them, dark environment. That one guy who sat there and said, look, I got my windows open. Darn well the windows weren't even open. You couldn't even see through the freaking blinds. Are you kidding me at the end of the day? And then the projector was sitting right there in the center while you got a window here and a window here. I had to pan out a little bit to notice there was a window on the far end, but it was shut. And of course, you don't turn the projector around. What the frick is going on behind you? Because the lighting behind here would affect the screen there, not here and here. Was the light going to magically turn and go into the screen? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And then you turn out the lights and go, now we're in a dark environment. You were in a dark environment when you first started the video. Unbelievable. I sit there and I go through the video like, oh God, you're going to turn the lights up. Lights out, lights out, lights out, lights out, lights out, lights out, lights out. Contrast in the dark, contrast in the dark, contrast in the dark, contrast in the dark. You do know you're reviewing a projector that's supposed to replace the TV, right? Oh my goodness, I had to go on these rants with these people at the end of the day. So you know what? Lord knows at the end of the day that we've been trying to warn you about this and tell you about this nonsense. So now since we got our new game, I'm going to shut it down. I'm going out there and have my demonstration in front. I'm going to put you on blast now. Now you're going to have to sit there on your YouTube channel and explain why you have an ambient rejection technology that can't read on the same level that we can read, because we can go outside any time of the day and display. Which means it would make our technology the real one. You want to challenge me in court on that one? I mean, why they don't go near me with a 10-foot pole? That's why the influencers don't come near me. Only one actual guy ever did, and that guy at the end of the day, we definitely have to have a little talk. We definitely have a little talk on that one. When I get done suing the other two for fraud, me and him are definitely going to have a nice little conversation, because you stuck my product next to a fraudulent product. Even though we came out on top, still not good enough for me. Do ever stick my products for anybody against some dinky paints at the end of the day, something we can crush on it every day. Certified. We go against certified, high-grade professional screens, and all these high-end we don't want that crappy projector. No high-end JVC. I'm saying JVC is a crappy projector, but I don't want no 4K. I don't want no 1080p. I want basic minimum. I want 600 by 800, 720p, and I don't even want an HDMI port. Make our product work for it. That's what we do. Every day we come in here, we do these demonstrations. We use no high-powered projectors. These screens have to earn it. You know how easy it would be to make one of these screens fire up on a 4K or 8K projector? Too freaking easy. It's not even a challenge for me at the end of the day. I get excited. Most people get excited if they get their hand on a 4K projector. I get excited if I can get a 600 by 800, 720p SVGA projector. Especially when it's actually designed to make in 2010. That's excitement for me. The projector has very little contrast capability, very little lumen. I like that kind of stuff, but it's a challenge for me at the end of the day. That's why we can beat the crap out of y'all screens so easily. See? We got that hard training for our screens. You got the easy training. Y'all do out there doing Pilates at the end of the day. Not saying anything wrong against Pilates in the day, but Pilates compared to what weightlifters go through, a different feel of freaking exercise than it really is. Or just say a person does everyday jogging versus a person does an Ironman. We do Ironmans over here. You guys do that weekend warrior jogging nonsense. You know, come out there with the spiffy little sneakers, little tracksuit, doing little jogs, then they try to look nice. Because there are people that jog, you know, for the sake of getting a workout in. They're in there to get that work. I don't care about sweat. I don't care about people think they work on it. And the people jog, they want to look cute in front of other people. And that's what you are. You want to look cute in front of other people. We're not into that. We're into hard work and getting the job done. That's why I'll be outside running around going, yeah, we're out in the play. Can they come out to play? Can they come out to play? No, you can't come out to play. We're just going to be out there by ourselves. Okay, that's enough of that saved. We're enough time on that. I killed my time on that. Ooh, that's 74 degrees today and sunny. I want to be outside so bad. I got work to do. I got some business I got to take over. Very important. But I may be outside today to do some demonstrations because definitely, I know, forget it. We're going outside today. We're definitely going to do it. It's sunny. We got 74 degrees. We got to take advantage of that. So, question to the influencers that have these great ambient light projection screens. I'm sorry, outdated ARL screens. Are you going to come out and play with us? Oh, by the way, you won't be taking any of your high-powered machines with you. Your minimum is going to be 500, 450 lumens. We prefer you do 50 lumens in direct sunlight first to please us on your gray screen, but you will not see anything out there. All right, I had fun right there, people. We had a lot of fun. All right, let's go. We got to go. I'm so glad we had this time together. All right, people. Well, for the customers, well, pretty soon all that nonsense is going to end real soon. And for those of you who make products at the end of the day, this is going to become an absolute nightmare. Oh, by the way, I forgot to add real quick. Technology is still only 15% completed. We haven't peaked 100 yet. So my track record for this technology, I'm going to do all those demonstrations outside, everywhere I want to go, including the ones I've already done, at 15% done on the technology. So if you're terrified of that technology right now, wait till it peaks at 100% performance. Now you get scared. All right, gotta go. I'm so glad we had this